In today's world of blurred lines and flexible beliefs, the idea that truth is fixed and knowable is often dismissed. Many would rather dwell in the grey, saying, "Who can really know?" But Scripture teaches something far more grounded, that truth can be known, and that knowing it makes all the difference. This video is not about philosophical theory for its own sake. It's about the practical and spiritual impact of believing that truth is real, objective, and absolute. The Bible doesn't leave room for middle ground between truth and error, right and wrong, faith and falsehood. Let's examine why this matters today more than ever. Many thoughtful observers have noted the steady decline of Protestant influence in our culture. Churches that once stood boldly for something now stand for very little. What caused this? The answer is simple. Many churches stopped believing in the possibility of absolute truth. As liberal theology crept in, it brought with it a rejection of final, revealed truth. Instead, everything became relative, flexible, evolving. Truth in this view is never fixed. It shifts with the times. The result? The church loses its voice. If nothing is ever really right or wrong, then why speak out at all? Contrast that with the clear teaching of Scripture. Jude tells us to contend earnestly for the faith once delivered, Jude 3. Paul warns against preaching another gospel, Galatians 1:6-9. Jesus said the truth will set us free, John 8:32, but he meant real, objective truth, not vague, evolving impressions. God gave us minds designed to think clearly, and logic itself reflects how truth works. One of the fundamental principles of logic is called the law of excluded middle. This law says something is either true or it isn't. There is no third option. For example, the statement God exists is either true or false. It can't be both, and it can't be neither. Here are three basic laws of logic. 1. The law of identity. If a statement is true, then it is true. 2. The law of contradiction. A statement cannot be both true and false at the same time. And 3. The law of excluded middle. A statement is either true or false. No neutral ground exists. These are not religious rules, they are basic to all rational thinking. And Scripture, by design, aligns perfectly with these laws. Many today argue that when two people disagree about truth, we should just agree to disagree. This sounds nice, but it ignores the logical and biblical reality. Either one is right or neither is. Let's illustrate this with a few examples. Example 1. Is there one true God? Man A, yes, there is one God. Man B, no, there is not. Man C, both have valid points. Man D, it doesn't matter, let's just focus on love. Only one of these positions can be correct. The others fall apart under the weight of logic and Scripture. Example 2. Is baptism essential to salvation? Man A, yes, the Bible teaches that baptism is necessary. Man B, no, baptism is not necessary. Man C, there's truth in both views. Man D, let's agree to disagree and move on. Again, both can't be right. Acts chapter 2 verse 38 and Mark chapter 16 verse 16 clearly teach baptism as essential. We don't have the luxury of neutrality. Example 3. Is the Lord's Supper to be observed every Sunday? Man A says, yes, that's what the early church practiced. Man B counters, no, that's not necessary. Man C suggests, let's not be dogmatic. And Man D concludes, let's just love each other and stop arguing. While love is vital, truth and obedience must guide our worship. Acts chapter 20 verse 7 shows the pattern clearly. Man C and Man D represent the mindset of many in our time. They argue that certainty is arrogance and truth is unknowable. But this mindset is not neutral, it is dangerous. If truth cannot be known, the Bible cannot be trusted. If error can be embraced without consequence, then Jesus' warnings, Paul's rebukes, and John's exhortations make no sense. Paul spoke of a time when people would no longer endure sound doctrine but would turn to fables. That time is here, but truth has not changed. Here are 4 truths we must hold on to. First, God has revealed his truth not for mystery but for clarity. Second, truth is knowable. Jesus said so. Third, truth alone saves, not error, not emotion, not opinion. And fourth, truth must be preached, boldly, clearly, and without compromise. If we don't preach truth, who will? If we blur the line between truth and error, what will people follow? Not Jesus. He said, "He that is of God hears God's words," John 8:47. This is not about being harsh. It's about being honest. Love and truth are not enemies. In fact, real love speaks the truth, as it says in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15. Truth does not shift with culture. It is not decided by majority vote. It is not less important than unity. Unity must be built on truth, or it is just empty agreement. So let us cling to the truth. Let us speak it with courage and compassion. And let us remember that when Jesus said the truth would set us free, he meant a truth that we can actually know, believe, and obey. Not for one moment should we surrender that truth in the name of so-called peace. Stand firm, speak boldly, and preach the truth, brother. The world needs it more than ever.